Are we live? Are we live? Why can't I hear anyone? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I
we
can.
can hear you.
Ah,
It's just that we were muted. Yeah.
oh, okay. I was worried.
Yeah,
Are
we're
we live?
already
Oh, we are live. But why can't
it's
I see the
live.
live on my Twitter?
Let's recap. I kind of.
It's weird. I can't see it on my Twitter. Oh, I can see it on my Twitter now.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, all right. We are. Okay. All right, so welcome to another episode of, or should I say, welcome to episode two of Onchain Safari Series Two. And for those of you that do not know about Onchain Safari, I think I will give um, the mic to Kokeb so she could say a little about Onchain Safari because we are streaming to Twitter, and this is the first time we're streaming to Twitter. And so I'm sure that so many persons on Twitter joining are confused, like what's going on here? What are we doing here? So I'm going to give the mic to Kokeb to give us a breakdown of what Onchain Safari is about and what we're trying to achieve, and yeah, then we can dive right into the session for today. So yeah, Kokeb.
Amazing. No one calls me my full name. So thanks for reminding everyone about my real government name. Everyone you can call me Coco. I am part of the core team organizing Eat Safari. Eat Safari is the largest Web3 slash Ethereum focused event on the African continent. This year will be the fourth year that Eat Safari runs. Super, super excited for that. And as a way to connect to the community before Eat Safari starts, last year we started these on-chain safari series as a way to have education and a way to yeah, get excited for all of the things that we can build throughout Eat Safari. But obviously, as we know, builders don't just build once a year. They're building all throughout the year, hence why we have Web3 clubs in the building joining us. Rita, I'll allow you to say hello as well in a moment. And the thing that I want to highlight is that in order for us to actually build better, better, um, better projects, we actually need to start with education. And so these series are really primarily focused on having people understand what's relevant in the ecosystem by inviting the people that are shaping the ecosystem to answer any questions live. And so if you are a part of a community and want to be highlighted just like Web3 clubs, please feel free to reach out. But otherwise, these series are meant to be informative and get you excited for what's possible. So, yeah. So, Rita, do you want to share a little bit about Web3 clubs? Maybe share.
Okay. Rita, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Hilda Rita Mugasia. I'm one of the members of Web3 Clubs, and Web3 Clubs is the largest developer community in East Africa, and it's focused on developer education and founder support. Over the years, they have managed to do a couple of cohorts, mostly around development on Ethereum. So that's around Solidity. We have also done Rust, and now we are starting the founder series in collaboration with Scroll Foundation. Yeah, so feel free to join the community. On Twitter, it's with three clubs, at three clubs, and you can keep up with also the group. And we also have a Discord and a Telegram channel. So we're excited to have you.
All right, thank you so much for that intro, Rita and Kokeb. And before we continue, I would like to say a very big welcome once again. Like, welcome to you all for being here. On our last series or previous series, we used to have like so many communities join live, but I think they are on vacation in Seychelles. So we have here with us Web3 Club. Thank you guys so much. I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something different. I wanted everyone at Web3 clubs to say hi, like unmute the mic and say hi, and then do a little intro of themselves. Can we have that? I'm trying to like create this environment for easy conversation, because this session or this series is like it's it promises to be different from the other series that we've had so far, right? We want it to be more interactive. We want to have more questions. We're going to be having less questions from me and more questions from you guys, because in as much as I'm also learning by being here, but these sessions are majorly organized for developers trying to connect African developers to global opportunities and whatnot. And so the questions we want them to like come from you guys, and they want them to like meaningful questions that really matter, right? I'm going to be asking questions, but yeah, you guys are going to be doing a lot of questions too, to Uttam. So please, I want us to like introduce ourselves, like just take the mic and quickly introduce yourself, and then we can pass the mic around. And then once that's done, we can move on. At least that's going to create a more conversational environment, right? So please, let's have it. Rita has gone, so let's have the other devs in the background. We don't want you guys to be in the background. Why are you in the background? Come closer.
They're shy, but I'm gonna bring them.
Yes, bring them. And for those joining us on Abstract and
This,
YouTube,
you can
sorry,
see.
1 minute. For those joining on YouTube and Twitter, if you're seeing this on YouTube and you're seeing it on Twitter, please do also share the link, do also share the YouTube link, so more people can get in here. We are going to be having a very great time. So much value is going to be dished out today by our very own guests, and so you don't want anyone to miss it. If you have friends that are not here, please share the link from YouTube. If you're on Twitter, please retweet the live space, quote the live space, comment on the live space, bookmark the live space, so more people can get to see it and join in. And if you also want to introduce yourself from wherever you are joining, please put it in the comments. Just introduce yourself, say your name and where you're joining from, and why you're excited to be here. Please, let's have it in the comments. So go ahead, Web3 Clubs.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
my name is Delmas. I'm a full stack software developer in both Web3 and the Web2 space.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
currently building the Stacknet ecosystem very much, but I'm happy to be here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Who is next? I don't know. I didn't even get his name. What did you say his name was again?
Dalmas. Dalmas.
Down.
He's a very talented developer, very humble too.
Wow. Who's that? Okay,
I
so
am
let's
not
go.
so humble, but I do. Hello, I'm
What's your
Shravi. I
name?
do Shravi.
Schwabi.
Yes,
Okay.
um, I do cryptography and blockchain architecture. Right now, I'm writing a private payments protocol with compliance, and it's supposed to be like a framework. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you,
Um,
Schwabi. I don't know if I pronounced the name very well. Thank you so much for that. Who is next? I think we have two more persons. Yes.
There's more. They're hiding. I can see them
Why are
hiding
they
in the
hiding? Why are you hiding? Come closer, please. Not
Hello,
you,
everyone.
everyone at the background.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm Jeremy Carlos. Still
Jeremy.
learning, yeah, still learning blockchain, and
Okay.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
Happy to have you here, Jeremy. Is there Are there more people?
Yeah, we
there's
have one. We
one.
have two more.
Yo, yo, hey, hey, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, yeah. So Chiza here. Yeah, I built for Sylvie protocol as a front end developer. Yeah, apart from that, I also do a couple of projects here and there at the lab. Yeah, so that's me. Nice to
Thank
see
you,
you.
Next
Chiza.
time, I'm gonna do a workshop on how to intro yourself because Chiza, you're forgetting all
I
the
know
things.
Definitely do that.
you got me off guard, you know.
Chiza's also
Okay,
building
finally, Ellie.
a deep in. Oh, nice. This is
Hi,
Hi,
Nelly.
my name is
hi,
Nelly.
Nelly.
Yes, I, oh God, I forgot my words. I'm a builder. I'm a co-founder of a community, and right now I'm just learning on cryptography and ZK. Yeah, I
Wow.
lead the ZK sessions here at Rotary Clubs for the past 1 month. And yes, I also built on base open source. Yeah, that's all.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. How did you feel when you introduced yourself? Like, I think the environment is calmer and is more friendly now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say a very big thank you to Kokeb. Kokeb has been doing this series for a while now, and constantly showing up, creating value, connecting, giving African builders opportunities, globally, connecting them with mentors and opportunities globally. It's not a small feat, right? And it's something that's really, really worthy of celebration. So thank you so much, Koke, for that. And thank you to our guests as well, Uttam Singh. We were supposed to have this session last week, but we had like a lot of technical issues, and Uttam was super patient and brought up like solutions for the next for today. And so thank you so much, Utam, for being here. And thank you guys once more, Web3 Clubs, for being here today. Like I said earlier, this series two promises to be very different, more interactive, less questions from me, more from you guys, to our guests. But one last thing before we go right into, you know, milking Utam of all the knowledge that he has. Yeah, today I would like to get some feedback, right? Because like I said, or like Kokeb already said, this series is meant to connect builders, African developers, with global opportunities, global mentors and whatnot. And so we've had like the last series, right? And I would like to those of you that were here for the last series, what significant, progress have you, seen in your career, in your life? Based off of you being a part of this Onchain Safari series, like what what connections have you made that are taken to the next level? What gig or jobs have you gotten because or by the virtue of this series? I mean, because that's the goal, right? But if we are not achieving that goal, then we need to like go back to the drawing board and see how we can do things better. So I want to get feedback like from you guys. How has it been since the last series to now? Before we go ahead to start um getting more knowledge on this series, we want to know that you guys apply the other ones, the knowledge you learned from the other series, and the connections you made took you to another to next level from last year till now, that you had like so much growth in your career and relationship or life so far. So who wants to go? Maybe just two persons, just two. We can have that, just two feedback, and then we know that we're on the right track, then we can move on. Rita, you're staring right at me.
So, so I know they're gonna be a little bit shy, but Dalmas, who's over there, has actually been working with a project that came to Eat Safari, and after meeting developers in real life, decided to hire a couple developers, and sorry, Dalmas, if I'm putting you on the spot, but Dalmas was one of the key. kind of
Wow.
builders that always showed up, and so he's been
Wow.
consistently working with this project ever since. So Delmas, maybe you can share a little bit more about that. But
Wow.
that's what real value is, right? So you we host these events, we host these series, and ideally we bring more projects to the continent. They hire a lot more people like Delmas, and we continue that cycle. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I think we'll just take Damas. Damas is already here, and then we'll move on.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So the events are very critical in the development of us developers here in Africa, for example. So the more the events we go to, the more the exposure we get, and the more the information we learn. So when it comes to job opportunities that are coming out of such events and such occasions, for example, through Safari last year, we came across Aqua Protocol. It's a data accounting, digital sovereignty platform system protocol that we are working on. So
Wow.
I can say, yes, as much the project is new technology or a new thing that we are building around, it's something worth building and quite nice. Also, to add on a bit, I can say not only we have like opportunities for jobs, but self growth is another opportunity that comes out of us interacting in these events. So
All right.
it's a great deal for us. Yeah.
All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Damas. So I think we are ready to go right into the session. I'm going to do a very brief introduction of our guest, and then when he gets the mic, he's going to do a more elaborate one, right? So Uttam Singh is the lead developer relations at Alchemy. He works directly with hundreds of developers, helping them build faster, smarter, and more reliably on chain. Whether you're deploying your first smart contract or scaling a product to thousands of users, he is the person you want to learn from. And that is why we're having Uttam Singh here today, so we can all learn from him. So thank you so much, Uttam Singh. Please, a round of applause as we welcome Uttam Singh to take the mic. Yes, thank you so much. So you have the mic, Uttam. Can,
Hey
can we?
everyone.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, thank you for the great intro. And I was listening to everyone's introduction. That was really awesome. So nice to meet you guys. And it looks really awesome that people are actually getting into this space from the hackathons and they started working with
Yeah.
the companies. It's really cool to hear those stories. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for that, Uttam. So, quick one. Can you tell us about your journey getting into
hmm
Web3 as a whole? You know, in as much as we are here to learn the technical stuffs and whatnot, we want to get a sneak peek into your story, right? Your not even a sneak peek, like the whole story, right? Your journey getting here, the challenges, how you were able to overcome them, how you're able to grow from zero to one, and being the devil at Alchemy. So can we have that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So how I got into crypto is I was doing my higher studies in computer science, and I was living in a place I think where opportunities were limited, and I was like I didn't wanted to take that traditional path, right? It didn't appeal to me. And then during the same time, I think Bitcoin was this fascinating thing. The Bitcoin prices were pumping, and everyone was talking about it. Yeah, my mom thinks I work at Bitcoin. That so Bitcoin was like the gold standard, and it is still that standard, right? So I was really curious about how Bitcoin works, and being like a computer science graduate, like pursuing computer science, I was like, okay, I want to deep dive and understand how the technicalities of Bitcoin is, how it is actually working, and then I got hooked into the concept of like decentralization, this decentralization money, and then all this internet money and how it could like change it, because I've always been not a big fan of banks. So decentralized money has always like as a topic, as a concept, has always hooked me. And then after that, learn more about it, and then got to learn more about Ethereum. Okay, you can build applications and make them decentralized, right? So that was also like a fascinating thing to me. And then I tried more to like explore, try to get involved and contribute to more open source project. I was Meanwhile, when I was learning, I just tried to like share whatever I was building in public. And after some time, I landed at Polygon. So back in like 2022, 2021, like Polygon was this major L2, like peak of its time. I joined them, working like scale Ethereum, joined as a blockchain engineer, contributed to like the core code for around 7 to 8 months, and then joined the DevRel team eventually. Then also started doing pursuing my research on the side from Canada, from University de Montreal. That was also around like blockchain research. And then when I came back from that research, I really wanted to like teach people and like teach more people and onboard more developers to this decentralized system. And I was like really into like teaching and talking to people more. Like a lot of people just shared about these community stuff. I really wanted to help people, so then I joined this role. I think took this role of DevRel and worked at Flare for 2 years. Now recently joined Alchemy. For those of you who don't know what Alchemy is like a complete on-chain developer platform which provides you everything you need to build a better UX for all your customers, from APIs to wallets to rollups and whatever you need, subgraphs, whatever you need to build a seamless UX for your customers. So yeah, I think crypto gave me that freedom to earn and to be a part of something that is global. And I think that's what I love about this space. It doesn't care where you from or where are you based, who are you, and how old are you. Only thing that matters is your skills and how you can contribute to this space.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. I think something that really stood out is your desire for knowledge, right? Because you got into the space, you were curious, and then you started to like dig deep, and then you started to learn more, and then contribute. So, your quest for knowledge, and also when you got that knowledge, you wanted to like pass it on, teach people, more people to know about these things, educate them, and then that's where you landed into DevRel. And I think that is a very beautiful story, because one thing that is very important for growth is learning. I mean, if you don't have the zeal to want to learn or make research or get knowledge, I mean, the Bible says my people perish because of lack of knowledge, right? So we need knowledge to grow. We need knowledge to to achieve our goals and whatnot. So yeah, thank you so much for that beautiful story. And before we move on, guys, if you have questions for Utam, specific questions, you can just put them in the comments, and then I will take them from there and ask Utam. I can't see YouTube. Coco, can you check YouTube if there are like questions there as well? Yes. So if you have questions and you want to often like if you are for those in Web3 Club, if you have questions that you want to ask, you can just raise your hands and we'll give you the mic to ask questions. And then if you're watching on Twitter, you're watching on YouTube, you want to ask questions, please put them in the comments and we'll take them to Utam. So another question from me, Utam. Um, we see so many people or so many developers wanting to come into the space, right? Or even developers here already like building, and some of them are getting it right, some are making a lot of mistakes, and then learning from them to grow. What do you think is what do you feel, or what's that one thing that you feel developers get wrong a lot, and something you feel devs should focus on more if they truly want to grow? What's that one thing that they really get? Like so many people are trying to rush into the space. I want to be a developer. I want to do this. I want to do that. What is that one thing that they mostly get wrong, right? And what do you think that developers should focus more on if they really want to grow?
Okay, that's a really good question. I would just say that make sure that before starting all your basics are clear. Don't like try to like actually rush into this space, because from outside this space is so shiny. People see a lot of money around, like all these meme coins, meta, and everything that is coming. So from the outside it's very shiny, but if you like are coming into this space for that shiny part and you're skipping those basics, then it becomes very hard to like stick here for long term, right? So I would really advise everyone to make sure that before entering and before starting coding, make sure that you know how the tech works, because eventually crypto is all about tech. I mean, even if you are not a developer, right? Make sure that you know how things work, right? I'm not asking you to, like, if you're not a dev, I'm not asking you to like write a code or learn how to code, like how smart contracts and everything. Just learn why things that are hard are hard, why things that are easy, right? Because it helps. Eventually, crypto is all about tech, right? And talking specifically about developers, I think make sure that your basics are clear again. And then if you are here to like build long terms, then make sure that you are focusing on like solving a problem, not really focusing on like just launching a product with like and then launching a token, because that isn't going to work for the long term, right? And probably now we are seeing a shift in this global financial operations where we are seeing a lot of institutional adoptions, like major institutions are recognizing that blockchain infrastructure can like deliver the operational efficiency, cost savings, and global reach that the traditional systems cannot match. So eventually we are going to see more and more adoption of blockchain infrastructure, and eventually every company that you see, for example, Stripe or Robinhood, they will need on-chain developers as well, and they will be looking for more people and more projects who are doing amazing things with like stable coins and crypto, right? So also making sure that initially when you are learning, try to contribute to open source projects that are already there in this space. In this way, you also get like a public showcase of your work, what you are doing. And as I said, the space doesn't care about where are you based, what do you do, or how old are you. All that matters is your contribution. So if you initially, after learning how to code, I think the best way to get started is try to like contribute to open source projects, which has always worked for a ton of people, worked for me. And whoever I know in this space, like most of the people started contributing through hackathons, to participating in that, and then building like real projects and contributing to open source. So I think focusing on solving real problems eventually like works in the long term. I hope that
Yeah.
answers the question.
Yeah, and I think this is a theme that has been repeated by so many guests. So last year, the
Mhm.
first guest that we had was all about how to actually monetize your open source contributions, and so I'm sure the Web3 clubs has heard this like 1,000 times before, but the one of the real reasons why I really wanted to have this conversation with you, Uttam, is that you actually tweet out um, specific projects, specific ideas that are solving real world problems and also that are interesting, right? So you mentioned that in the future, things like Stripe will need to hire and onboard more developers, and I'm sure because they had the $1 billion acquisition of Bridge earlier this year. They acquired Privy earlier this year, and so this is going to be like the new workforce, right? Like they need to actually hire and onboard a lot of talented developers to kind of fill in the gaps of both these projects. And so what I want to kind of dive into now, and especially the next segment, is like what are you noticing, right? It's like what trends are you noticing, and you mentioned that you wanted to also talk about stablecoins, but yeah, so where are the most interesting use cases that you see in your work today, and so how can the developers that are tuning into this tap into that, right? Because I think that there's eagerness, I think that there's readiness, I think that there's talent, but the thing sometimes that's missing is the ideas, and like where
Resources,
should we be looking
tools.
in terms of shiny object syndrome?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. So, in terms of like what I am seeing from my understanding and from working with a lot of developers is definitely institutional adoptions are coming. Like recently, Stripe, as you said, like named stablecoin financial accounts, like allowing business in like 101 countries, if I'm not wrong, to like hold balances in like dollar backed stable coins, receive funds on both like crypto and fiat rails. So basically, stable coin payment is going to become like the basic rail. Like it's always going to be there when you do any payments through Stripe, right? And then Robinhood recently announced like a new Arbitrum L2 as well. And they plan to like actually move fully on chain, which is like a massive, massive deal, and providing, I think, tokenized stocks around Europe, which is a big deal. And recently, actually, at Alchemy, we worked with like JP Morgan. They launched their first USD deposit token, which actually is using Alchemy smart wallets under the hood on base. So the transaction will relayed through Alchemy's infrastructure, making this like one of the real live use cases of tokenized deposits plus smart wallets wallet at like a major institutional level. And on the wallet services side, so there is thing called ERC 4337, which was account abstraction EIP that came, I think, 4 years ago or 3 years ago, that changed it massively. Like it improved EVM like 10x and 20x because the onboarding experience literally improved, because you can just onboard people with like Google sign in and Apple sign in, just how you onboard people to like web2 applications, right? So that was ERC 4337. And then recently in the launch, Pectra hard fork, a EIP came called 7702, which was that we will convert all the EOAs that are the accounts that you use right now. Like if you go to a MetaMask, you create an account that is a EOA account. So with 7702, you can turn that account to smart wallets itself, right? So which literally like is changing the game, and more people, and we are moving towards like a better I think onboarding experience, better UX to onboard that thousand millions of users and bring crypto to mainstream. By the way, a lot of people don't know what's the difference between an EIP or ERC. So EIP is basically a broad proposal for changes or improvements to the Ethereum protocol itself, the protocol itself. And ERCs are proposals for creating like new Ethereum based standards or tokens. So the basic difference between ERC and EIP. Other than that, what I'm seeing is on the roll up side, I'm seeing a lot of chains and a lot of, I think, organization launching roll ups. For example, I don't know if you guys have heard about WorldCoin. So WorldCoin is basically a project of OpenAI, the ChatGPT company. So they have something amazing called Priority Block Human Space, basically, which is block space for humans, right? So which is a way for people who are World ID holders, people who are verified, to receive like a prioritized transaction inclusion in world blocks. Like with all this AI adoption and growth, we will see more and more bots coming in, right? So I think PBH, like this priority block space, is going to play a very important role to like reserve guarantees for humans, just like you and me, who are like real and verified users, right? Because with all this AI growth, we will see more bots, right? So nobody wants to like talk with bot. Even if you use Twitter these days, there are so many bots, and people are like literally saying what is going on, right? So I think these bots are also going to go on chain, and with WorldCoin doing this priority block space for humans, I think that is a major game changer. And also, I think most of the developers who are building applications on these like on WorldCoin, they are actually seeing real users, right? Why? Because when you build on like a separate chain which doesn't differentiate between bots and users, most of the people who are like using your applications are bots. They're just farming it. So whenever you launch your token, they can get like a piece of that token, and then they go away, right? But with this, all the users, yeah, just 1 minute. So all the users who are actually like using the apps are verified users, and they will get like a priority for that, right? So maybe I can just also explain how it works. So when a user verifies their humanity with like the device called Orb, which you can also do it, they are issued like a world ID, and the private portion of that ID is like stored on user device, and your information is literally not leaked or nothing is happening. It's all private, right? So users can use that world ID to like get priority transaction, and they always use like zero knowledge proof. They use like zero knowledge proofs under the hood, so which makes like your data not public to anyone who wants to verify that you are a human. Yeah, go ahead. I think someone had a question.
Hey there. Thanks for the very nice summary and intro into what WorldCoin is doing. I wanted to ask, like, since you said that there are different spaces for humans and for bots, I'm
Mhm.
guessing. So does that mean you could do things against the bots?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Can you
The
come
last line,
again?
what was that?
Does having different block spaces for humans versus the bots mean
Mhm.
that you're going to be safer against the maps?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So specifically, you can do MEV front run someone who is doing a transition. So let's say, so how it actually works is there's going to be a single block, right? On top of the block, all the human transactions are going to be there, and like once the human transactions are finished, after that there will be all the transactions that are not like really verified, right? So block has a dedicated like a space for PBH, like 30%, let's say, right? So only 30% are going to be going to in that block. Rest, all the unverified, like all the non-human transactions are going to go. Like if there are more verified transactions, they will go to the next block, right? So specifically, yes, you can technically do that because World Chain is using OP Stack. So OP Stack is like a stack that is built by Optimism. So they use, if I'm not wrong, they have something called priority fee. So basically, you can pay priority fee to get on top of the block and then like beat all other transactions, right? So if you pay a heavy priority fee, you can like beat those transactions, right? So that priority fee is going to be still there, but on the top, all the verified transactions are going to be there, so they can compete with each other on like giving more priority fee, right? And on the bottom, all the unverified transactions, they can compete with each other with the help of priority fee. So you can still front run, and there will be still MEV if you consider priority fee as MEV, which is a controversial thing. So yeah, I hope that answers. You're on mute.
For that. But can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So, follow-up question to that is what's technically differentiating these verified and unverified transactions, just to get some clarity on what would a bot need to do to make it appear like a verified transaction.
So the way it works is, so when you verify your humanity with like that device, which is World Orb, you are issued a world ID. So
Yeah.
the private portion of ID is stored on your device, right? While a public portion is stored on chain in like a Merkle tree representing all the issued IDs. So users can, like you as a user, can use that issued world ID to prove that you are a verified human by confirming your existence in like the on-chain Merkle tree, right? All this is done via ZK proofs, like private inputs, such that like the verifier, they don't learn anything about you or the user, right? Other than that they are just verified. So when a transaction goes through, there is a private thing, that I think a private parameter that goes through that, which actually checks that okay, there is a private parameter which says that this transaction is coming through a verified person. I hope that helps. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Uh,
We have-
yeah, I think yeah. Continuing to continuing to like ZK stuff. I also want to touch about more about what's happening in the ZK space. So recently, I think Google also announced that they are going to use ZK in one of their products to like verify the IDs, like the age. So for now, you have to like literally show your ID to prove that you are 18 plus to get an entry into a club, let's say, right? But you don't want to show that. Like, I don't want to show my ID to everyone, right? So I can just use that ZK product to like showcase that, okay, this the person is saying true,
Exactly.
and there is a proof for that, right? Other than that, on the ZK side, we recently saw like real time Ethereum proving is coming. So there are players like Succent, ZK Sync, and I think what was the other name? Risk Zero, right? So they are building like real time Ethereum proving. Yeah. So that's something interesting. And like more and more, like when I talk to people at Ethereum Foundation, they're like really bullish on ZK, and they are planning to use more and more ZK, especially on the L1 side, to like scale the L1 itself. So also Ethereum has like three goals right now. Ethereum Foundation is like scale the L1, which is happening, and then scale the L2s, which is like more blob space, so that L2s can settle on Ethereum itself. And the third one is solve the interop problem between these rollups. So that's like the main goals of Ethereum for now, and they're planning to do that. And then on the rollup side as well, we are seeing more and more people like moving towards like a ZK stack, and because as we move forward, GK becomes more cheaper and more people are going to use that, right? And then on the side as well, TEs are also like a amazing concept, right? Which is like a trusted execution environment, right? You guys might have like heard about it. Like Flashbots is using TEs in their thing called Roller Boost, which is like an extension to to all the rollups that are running. So there was a thing called MEV Boost. I think you asked a question about MEV, so you might know there's a MEV Boost product that is for Ethereum L1. Similar to that, it's like a roller boost for all the rollups. It's like a sidecar extension, right? So they are using these for that. Yeah, so these are like the few things that I have been seeing. If there is anything else, if I recon, yeah, I can share it later. But I think that's it. Hope that answers, Coco.
Yeah, that definitely does. And so something I've been thinking a lot about is that these are all very niche topics on its own.
Yeah.
And a big problem is that you run into the situation of there's so many topics, you don't know what to learn about first. And I think one thing that I really admire about you, Uttam, is that
Mhm.
you have a very meticulous way of like doing your research and then presenting that research. And I know from my own experience that sharing and building in public is a part of learning, right? Is a part of the
Yeah.
process of learning. Nelly, who you met earlier, actually does ZK Wednesdays, proof of Wednesday, proof of Wednesday. And so every Wednesday at the lab, there's something like a ZK session happening. And so with all of these different topics, number one, my question is, okay, how do you go about researching? How do you go about learning? What are
Mhm.
the resources that you use for your own learning?
Mhm.
And then the second part of the question is, if you were like rewind, right? And I think most of you maybe missed this part of Uttam's introduction, but uh, uh, you come from a part of the world that is very similar to Africa in terms of how opportunities are presented, right? But you got yourself to where you are because of your meticulous process, right? And being consistent. And so yeah, I would just share like, what is your process? What are you learning about? How do you go about? Um, how do you go about like making sure that you're staying consistent even in your own learning? And what
Mm.
would you do if you were like in the beginning of your journey now? So for anyone that's listening, I know that was a lot of questions at once.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of questions at once. I can just start with sharing what I've been learning and about research and how you can like get more involved. I would say
Perfect.
it is very okay to like get confused, because every day there is like a new buzzword in crypto, especially if you are like on crypto Twitter. Like you will see like every day there is a new narrative, right? So it's very hard to like choose what you want to go and what you want to learn about. But I would suggest that pick at least 3 to 4 things that you think are interesting to you. For example, MEV or roll-ups or wallet services, or maybe if you are a DeFi guy, if you are into trading, search for like look for DeFi, and then explore these niches and make sure that you are exploring it deep enough so that you understand it. And once you have a bit of a knowledge, I think choose just one or maybe two and go deep into that and like become a guy for that particular topic. So, for example, if I want to learn about rollups, then I would think about you, right? For example, if I want to learn about rollups, Coco is the person. I will just go to her and like, okay, she knows and she can answer any of my questions about rollups, right? So I think that's a great way to like enter this space and make sure that you are aware of that, especially on the side if you are like planning to like also create content on Twitter. Then on the side you can post about your research, what you have learned. If you have built something on the side, you can like post about that, collab with people who are building continuously on that particular topic. And how I get involved and how I learn about it is, to be honest, mostly crypto Twitter, because I spend like most of my time looking into okay what's happening. It's also a part of my job, right? So making sure that staying relevant of what developers are talking about, what the companies are talking about, where this industry as a whole is headed. I think crypto Twitter has helped me a lot to learn more about all these things. You don't have to be active, but if you like really want to learn about what's new, what's hot, what's trendy, then you can like look into crypto Twitter. Just a heads up there as well. Most of the things that you will see there might not be there after 2 3 months or 6 months, because there is a narrative that goes up, it pumps and it dies, right? So that's very common. So make sure that you're using the right path and you're using the right direction. Make sure that you are doing all your research. Personally, that has been very helpful to me. uh, I think in terms of like searching, I think Twitter indexing is far more better for like Web3 things or on-chain things if I want to learn, because everyone keeps posting these amazing threads, and then if you Google it, you will not find it because all of that information is on Twitter, right? Sometimes even when I create videos, when I try to teach people, when I try to teach developers, right, I go and look onto Twitter, which has like helped me a lot personally. And most of the newbies who enter into this space, they don't know about crypto Twitter, right? Which, because it's a very small space, right? So I think that's a good thing. I think that you guys can look into. You don't have to be active, just follow the right people. Don't follow people who talk about tokens and pump and dump and everything. Just make sure that you're following the right people who are actually serious about this space. No matter what ecosystem you are in, Ethereum, Solana, that's totally fine. Just follow the right people. That is always, I think, that is helpful. uh, and what was the next question? I forgot.
So the question is, if you were to start your journey all over again, right? Like if you were Uttam in
Hmm.
India, you know, new to
Mhm.
Web3, scrolling through crypto Twitter, feeling like an imposter, what would you be doing?
Okay, that's a tough question. So if I have to start from the scratch, where I have no knowledge, no knowledge about crypto, I'm also assuming that I don't know coding. I would
Yeah.
just go and start learning about like I would just start learning about smart contracts and building on-chain applications. And with like AI these days, it's so easy to build on-chain applications. A lot of people are saying that AI is disrupting this, AI is disrupting this, but in my personal opinion, the AI is going to have a major impact in the definition of builder, because it's literally changing the definition of builder from like someone who can code to someone who can like make sure to write and give a better prompt to the AI LLMs or whatever it is you are using to like build the application. I think there the AI is going to have a major impact, right? So I think I will definitely leverage AI into my journey and start to like make on-chain, learn how to build on-chain applications. And then on the side, I will make sure to like research some of other topics that fascinates me, start to learn more about, okay, how this rollup is working, how Ethereum works. Okay, if I'm interested in Solana, I will just dedicate my time to Solana. I will just pick one ecosystem, either Ethereum, either Solana, and I will just dive deep into and like learn everything about that ecosystem. Okay, how Ethereum chain works, what is rollups and everything, and then start building on-chain applications. I think on this side, it also depends what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a job, then that roadmap is going to be different. If I'm looking to like build something of my own, probably that is going to be very different, right? So if I am looking to get a job, I would just start contributing to like open source applications, open source GitHub codes. I will look out for at least 2 or 3 projects that are interesting to me, and then start directly contributing to that. Obviously, it is going to be very hard in the initial to like get I think understanding of the code and start contributing to the thick of the code. But I think once you pass that hurdle, that's the best thing you can do, because all the companies, they look for skills and they look for like proof of the skill, and I think that's the best way as a developer to get a job. And on the other hand, if I'm planning to like launch my own projects, I would definitely go and participate in hackathons. That's the best way. Like I just shilling myself. I actually started this Telegram group on like around 2 years ago to like help people know more about what are the hackathons that are coming, what are the developer communities that are there. So that actually helps. So if anybody's interested, I can drop a link after this. You guys can like join that group. A lot of developers have reached out to me that it actually helps. So because again, for newbies, it's very hard to follow Twitter and follow LinkedIn and find out what everyone is posting. So there is a single place that posts whatever is happening, what are the opportunities. So coming back to the question, I will participate in hackathons for sure. And after that, on the hackathons, I will make sure that whatever projects I am building, making sure that they are out there, they are in public. And I would also participate in hacker houses as well. And there are a lot of accelerators that new chains are launching. For example, I think Monad and Mega E, they are doing a great job in these accelerators. So you can like join those accelerators. That's a great way to like get started, fund your project, and like get that initial pull and initial funding. So that's a good way to get started. uh, Other than that, I would also start posting on Twitter, just because if I want to start a startup, I would love to like have a personal brand, but that's not really necessary if you are into like the developer. I think in the developer mindset, that's not really important. But yeah, I think these are the few things that I would do. And hopefully, I will end up in a good job or launch my own startup.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think that. Go ahead.
I wanted to go. I wanted to say, talking about the right resources, developers having the right resources, plugging them to right opportunities, seeing the right communities, right place to contribute to and whatnot. So I would like to ask, how is Alchemy supporting devs right now?
Hmm.
And what are the
Hmm.
resources, the tools that these devs can plug in right now, or African builders can have access to, and how
Oh
can they
yeah,
have access
sure.
to?
Yeah. So we have a thing called Alchemy University, which is basically for people who don't know anything about Web3 and wants to like start building on-chain application, wants to start learning about it. We have a free university. We can't like ask for any money. It's free of cost. You can just start like learning from it, and there are thousands of developers that are already learning. So you can join that Alchemy University. On the side there, we also have like a Discord server where you can join and meet all these peers who are learning on the side, so you can like hang out with them and team up and participate in hackathons in the future with them. On the side, we also like recently launched Alchemy ambassador program. So we actually onboarded a bunch of developers, bunch of content creators to create content about like on-chain development, and then help them in whatever way we can. That's one of the things that you can get involved with. Other than that, we always provide Alchemy credits to builders who are actually serious and building something cool. So if you are building something cool, reach out to me. I would love to help you with like provide Alchemy credits, which you can like use to build your projects. Other than that, I'm always here to help you if you're building using Alchemy and you want to like showcase it to people. I would love to like help you with anything, whatever you need. Other than that, yeah, I think these are the few initiatives that we have done in the past, and we are planning to do more and release more technical articles, more technical videos, just to make sure that people can keep building.
Wow. Thank you for that. I think Chris just said Alchemy University is where you got into Web3. You got to Alchemy University is where you got into Web3, but you didn't finish.
Ah.
I think you got
Oh, that's
distracted.
super cool. Oh, by the way, if you guys can like, I think if you want, you can just definitely post a summary on Twitter after this and tag Alchemy and tag me. I would love to like send you some swags. Yeah.
Oh, that's thank you so much. And
Yeah,
talking
Coco
about
is wearing one. Sorry. Go ahead.
okay, talking about learning, contributing, building in public, being on Twitter, I can. It's good that you're the one saying those things because when I went through your Twitter and everything really aligns, right? And talking about that, you mentioned there's something very big you're working on and it's going to be released soon. So can you give us like a sneak peek into that and how devs can stay positioned for that?
Well. I really can't speak about what's coming, but a lot of things are coming. It's not just a
Come
single
on, give us
announcement. A lot
expo. We
of
are here today.
Well, a
Give
lot
us
of
sneak
things are
peek.
coming, so I really can't talk about anything specifically. But yeah, more content is specifically for developers. If you are like a developer who uses Alchemy under the hood, then I would really like recommend you to keep following and making sure that you're there for the announcement, and then we will ship more content in like the next few months to help more developers on board to the space. But yeah, that is it. In the few days I will definitely going to like announce that it will be out, so keep following Alchemy.
So if you're here and you're not following Alchemy, you're not following Uttam, go and follow him now so that you can stay positioned for the updates or what is coming.
Yeah.
Something very big that's coming. So we have one question here on YouTube. I'm just going to quickly take it before it get lost and then we'll move on. So someone was asking, it said, I wonder how interoperability will be solved. Is there anything coming up in that regard?
Interesting. Yeah, interoperability is like definitely a big concern, specifically around, I think, the roll-up ecosystem, because we have done this amazing job building the roll-ups ecosystem, all these L2s, right? Even the institutions are launching L2s, and what's missing is, I think, the interoperability. So a lot of companies are working to solve interoperability. I can take a name of few initiatives. For example, Ethereum Foundation has this thing called open intents framework. So they are working on that with a lot of teams from the industry to like create a standard to solve interoperability. So I think in the near future, I think in upcoming few months, they will have something out there, and I think the UX is going to improve at least 5x with that. And then a couple of other companies are trying to solve, for example, Optimism is trying to solve interoperability with Superchain. And then Arbitrum Orbit has this thing called Universal Intent Engine, which they've announced. So they are solving in their way. And then Celestia, which is a data availability layer that is solving it using lazy bridging protocol. And there are a couple of other players in this space, I think, that are trying to solve it. But I personally think at least in a year or so, we will have a far more better experience in terms of interoperability. So you don't have to like spend a lot of time and money and all these gas fees to like switch to chain and transfer your assets from one chain to another. Yeah, I think that's few of the things that the industry as a whole is working on, and I'm personally bullish that it will be like solved next, because that's like a really major focus, and everyone is like trying to solve that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I was talking, but I was muted. I hope that answers your question, Chris. If it answers your question, just put it in the comments so we know that you are satisfied. Um, so one more question for me. I'm sure that Koke, how do I like calling you Koke? Coco. Coco has a question, but but let me just quickly go take this one, right? So talking about projects, talking about opportunities and building, contributing, right? So apart from developers like contributing to open source right now, what's what do you want to see? What are the next level projects that you want to see built by like developers here and those watching? What are the next level projects you want to see built in the space that you feel is going to 100x unlock mainstream adoption for crypto? And what are the tools and resources developers should tap into that can make that work?
Hmm, that's
And
interesting.
then
Um,
don't be surprised if someone actually builds it, like right now, right after this.
yeah, people are already building, have their own laptop. So, I think so. I was in Berlin a few weeks ago, and one of the theme there that was really, I think, on top was privacy. So I am personally seeing a lot of projects that are building and focused on privacy, right? So already have all these transactions. Now the gas fees to do these transactions have becoming more and more cheaper. But the next thing that people want to see is privacy. Like, I don't want to showcase how much gas I paid, or who am I transaction to, right? And then let's say if I'm doing a trade on Hyperliquid, then I don't want to show my positions to everyone else, right? So I think privacy is like a really major theme. That was the same in Prague and same in Berlin. So I would love to see more privacy oriented solutions, personally, and would love to go and see them like go mainstream, so more and more people are actually using those. And and privacy is like, I think privacy is normal. We have to make sure that everyone has access to privacy. Yeah, on the privacy side, there are projects like STAC, couple of other projects. I can't recall the name, but ZK projects are doing. I think Succent has this like somebody
Maiden.
built this like, yeah, Maiden, and then ZK
Yeah.
Hyperliquid. People are building, focusing on that, right? So I think that's interesting. Other than that, what would I like to see? I would love to see more innovations around wallets, right? So right now, people are moving towards logging it with pass keys. So people are moving away from like logging in with wallets and with like Google account or even with email. People want to log in with just with your pass keys, because
Yeah,
it's very easy for your password to get lost. But with your pass keys, it's going to be very easy, right? And
because your
it will be
can
more
get lost
safer.
too.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody can like take your fingerprints and your IDs, right? So uh, we can do a lot of innovations around passkeys logins, which I am seeing a lot of developers are already building. I would love to see if anybody else is building. We do have like a wallet services product, so would love to help you if you have any ideas of what you want to build with like wallet services. Other than that, what else would I like to see? I would love to see more on-chain gaming applications, right? Like the applications that we use, like right now. Let's say Subway Surfer. I would love to see that go on-chain. Like Subway Surfer is just an example. I would love to see more and more games go on-chain with all these high efficient, like high speed chains that are coming. like that are showcasing this example of what is possible with like very, very, very low latency. I think on-chain games are going to be possible, so would love to see more of those games. What else? Mm, I think that's it. What I can right now think of.
I know the
Yeah,
Mega
I
Eve
think
team built like an almost Subway Surfers like game, but with a bunny. Very
yeah.
on brand. Um, I have just one question about wallets and innovation on wallets. I know we're kind of out of time, but don't you think with Stripe acquiring Privy, that there will be almost less innovation in this regard because it will just be kind of all centralized? I mean, like, if I was the Bridge founder or Privy founder, I think I would 100% say yes to being acquired by Stripe. But at the same time, it kind of goes against the cypherpunk values that for
Mm.
sure were displayed in Berlin. And so I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that. Like, don't you think we'll see less innovation with a kind of monopoly over how we're using wallets now?
Well, I don't really know if I should comment on to there, like how Privy is going to like work after Stripe acquisition. But in general, like Privy team is like a really great team. They have good engineers. I'm pretty sure they will keep working on that. And Stripe, since as we already discussed, that more and more institutional adoption is coming. So you will see Privy become main part of like Stripe on-chain global, like Stripe on-chain tools that they provide, right? But on the other hand, I think other than Privy, Alchemy is in the game, right? So on the side, we will keep exploring those new and new faces and providing easier onboarding and making more, things to more changes and more innovations to like wallet services product. Uh, I can't really speak about how Privy is going to take over because I don't really know how internally it
Yeah,
works, right? But that's a valid question, and it's just not you. A lot of other people have raised that concern on Twitter, from what I've seen. But
yeah,
overall, I think this space is still going to move forward, and as an industry, I think it's a good thing that Privy was acquired because this shows that
yeah,
institutions are actually like serious about it, right? Because you don't hire a company for millions of dollars if you're not serious about that space, right? So I think overall it's very bullish, and they are a great team. But on the side, as I said, that there are other companies like Alchemy that are in the wallet services game. We will always keep leveling up on there and making sure that all the DeFi users of the crypto space and all the people who wants to like get into this on-chain world, they can get through with our wallet products.
wonderful.
All
Okay,
right.
last question for me is the next session is going to be with Tim Bako, who you know
Mhm.
is leading protocol research, and so I want to give you an opportunity to ask him a question. And so if you had a question or opportunity to ask Tim a question, what would you want to ask? And then we can pass it along to him. The next session, while Uttam thinks about it, is going to be this
Well,
Thursday, same time, 7:30 West Africa time, 9:30 East Africa time, very early on this side of the world. But yeah,
well, I will have to think about it, but I think
okay.
mostly in general, I would love to know what is his general idea of where does he see Ethereum's in 2 or 3 years. Just would love to
Mm,
see what his takes on institutional adoption and how is it going to change Ethereum, and how does he see Ethereum's playing a role in that, the whole adoption. Um, yeah, I think that's the general question. Other than that, I don't really think so. I have a good question for him. But yeah,
what?
maybe other thing would be how how much Ethereum Foundation is focusing on adopting more technology like ZK, and how serious is I think EF is about it. Yeah, I think the first one was better.
Yeah, yeah. I like the
Yeah,
person. First one we'll
yeah,
pass on to Tim. So more about how what his predictions are in the next 2 to 3 years about how institutional crypto will influence the EF, and EF will
Yeah,
influence institutional crypto. Yeah,
yeah, not really EF, but Ethereum. Yeah,
Ethereum. Yes, that's true. Two different things.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. So there's a question from or a statement from Doreen, and I think I will just say I don't know if Doreen was here when Utam talked about Alchemy School, Alchemy University. So I think Doreen, you can just check it out. He said he has a problem anytime he wants to start building a project. I find it difficult to because I use YouTube tutorials to learn. Please help me on how to start. So I think that the Alchemy University Utam talked about can help you during and just to add up to what you're saying about what the kind of products you want to see built, right? I read something somewhere that if crypto wants to win, it has to disappear. And then
Mm,
that was like really, really deep because I mean, we say we want to bring the world on chain, we want to like bring the next 1 million, 2 billion, 10 billion people on chain, but it's still the on chain applications are still like so not easy to adopt, right? By these people that want to bring on board. And so the solution you talked about wallets, having seen more solutions with um, pass keys and whatnot. I think that's a really interesting one, and that's something that Base is also. I don't know if you know about Base, right? The products on Base, like that's something that are also solving. Now, when you talked about gas fees, with Base, like the gas fees is very is it's almost like there's no gas fee, right? So it's like very, 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 very little, and then people can there are applications right now on base that you don't you so when you're getting on board or using it doesn't feel like it's crypto, right? And so I think with more applications like that we can really get to the point where crypto becomes 100% mainstream and whatnot. So yeah, thank you for that. I don't know if we have more questions. Still getting my hands on the passkey thing. Seen it a lot with Coinbase. Yeah, okay. Well, a build tools to help you build. Okay, I think that's all. That's all questions from here. So maybe a last question from me would just be, um, what are your what's your what's first of all what keeps you motivated. Okay, I have three in one questions. My last three in one questions for you. Sorry. So one is how do you overcome burnout? Because that is something that it's like very rampant amongst builders, especially devs, right? How do you overcome burnout? And what keeps you motivated? And lastly, what's your like advice for builders or developers here, wanting to come into? Okay, I think you already answered that one, right? Advice is learn, contribute, and build in public. So I think just those two questions: how do you overcome burnout, and what keeps you motivated?
uh,
We can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh,
Hello.
sorry about that. Yeah, I can just summarize your answer in just one quote that I was recently learning. In a world that is changing so rapidly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk, and that implies with our industry as well. The industry is like changing so rapidly, so I think the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk and be in your comfort zone. So I think it's always good to like be out of your comfort zone and start learning about more things, get involved with more things, take responsibilities, and like move ahead.
All
thank you
right. Thank
so much,
you. Thank you
Uttam.
so much. So I think that we've come to the end of today's session, and it was really a great time. We got to learn a lot about your story, your journey. Bidas got insight into what Alchemy is about and how they can get access to these tools and resources. So yeah, thank you so much. For that, Utam. It was nice having you with us. Guys, please say your thanks to Utam in the comments. Please shout out to Utam. Let's see your emojis. If you enjoyed the session, you got value from the session, please put your emojis in the comments and just say thank you to Utam for taking out the time to be here today. All right. So
I definitely learned a
Yeah,
lot.
thanks for
So
having me.
thank you, Uttam.
Oh,
Thank
glad
you.
that was
Thank you.
helpful. Thanks for having me. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Feel free to reach
Bye.
out to me on Twitter if anybody needs any help. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, you can also reach out to Uttam on Twitter if you have more questions. Uttam Singh.
Awesome.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Oh, I will just wrap up the live by sharing that this will be a weekly live stream on Thursdays. This week was because of a technical issue from last Thursday. So this in 2 days we will have Tim Bako, who leads protocol research at the Ethereum Foundation. Tim is like anything that you can think of in terms of EIPs. He's definitely a part of the core decision making around it, and so if you want to prepare for the session, the best way is actually to read some of the current EIPs, some of the ones that even Uttam shared are really beneficial. Come prepared for your with your questions, and also. As you know, like these series are meant for us to like connect with one another, and so hopefully if you are, I see some Uganda folks, I see some people from Nigeria, and so if you are in any of these other African countries and you want to participate, yeah, feel free to reach out so that we can have you join in the live stream. And Yeah, I'm super excited for Thursday. It's been quite a challenge to schedule this one, and now I'm excited. So this will be the third session, and then we have three more, and I will be making announcements about the next guest speakers as well. And so thank you to our lovely co-host. You always bring so much energy. Even when you made everyone come in and bring introductions, I was like, wow, this is amazing. These are the ways that the stories that wouldn't have come up just come up. And so thank you for that. And then also, thank you, Rita, for joining in, for getting the crowd together. I really appreciate you. I can't wait to be home soon. I'm so excited to go back to Nairobi and to go to Web3 clubs. That is definitely where I feel most at home. So yeah, and if you're a developer in Kenya, in Nairobi, and you have time to check it out, uh, uh, you can reach out to Web3 clubs and come check out the facility, come co-work from there. It's an open and free space for you to meet and network with other builders. So that's a wrap for today. We only went 15 minutes over. Not bad, not bad. Next time we have to be precisely on time because yeah, Tim only has an allocated 1 hour. So yeah,
All right. Bye. Bye, everyone. Kakuza
bye.
says, be based, stay based.
Stay
Hi,
based. Yes.
Kakuza.
Amazing, amazing. See you guys on Thursday, and everyone tuning in. Thank you so much. See you on Thursday.
All right, bye.
Bye.